guys, welcome back to our channel.
Hey everybody.
So today we're going to be talking about our homestead and all the animals on it.
Everything here and there. I think also we're going to kind of show them or talk to them about what would be good for beginners, novice, and someone that's a little bit more experienced.
Yeah, so I think today we're kind of, for our review, we're going to review each animal on our homestead and kind of rank them of who's good for beginners and who definitely needs someone who's more experienced.
Yeah.
And kind of just show you guys why we have them and what they're useful for on this homestead.
100%.
So let's get into it. Okay. Okay, well that was an ordeal.
Hey-o.
So we're gonna start off easy with these naked necks.
Yep.
Ugly? Yes, absolutely. Hilarious? Yes, absolutely. They're actually surprisingly really good layers in all seasons. We're in northern Canada and
some amazing morning eggs.
we have a variety, like a barnyard variety of chickens, as you can see back there. And those ones are like Morans and leg bars, and they don't lay as good in the winter, surprisingly.
And those are on the far side, right?
Yeah.
And then our closest pen.
And then this closest pen is all of our purebred naked necks. So they're like our fancy birds. And they have done us a solid, and we're actually really surprised of how hardy they are in the winter, despite not having neck feathers. But the funniest part about these birds is they're the easiest to butcher. Because of their lack of feathers on their necks, it makes the process for butchering them a lot quicker, a lot smoother, and hey! And so we really appreciate that. And so we're actually kind of migrating to be closer to doing only naked necks, just because we actually have found that they're really, really good.
Yeah, when it comes to harvesting, I would definitely say these, because at the end of the day, it's chicken.
Yep.
Chicken's chicken.
Chicken's chicken.
But if you're harvesting your own, for sure, everything's very clean and easy when it comes to that point in time.
So we'll butcher all the roosters, except for we'll keep like one or two.
Yeah.
And then the spent hens has a little tuft of hair, and we really like her. And so, yeah, we have a bunch of them and we like them.
Yeah.
And so
You are free.
I would say that they are a really good starter animal.
Yeah.
You get eggs, you get your meat, and you can also learn the process of butchering. If you don't have a plucker, and you just skin like we mostly do, they are super duper easy to skin. And it's a really good way, a step up into harvesting your own meat and that kind of thing. And it's a really good learning curve because they're smaller and just an easier animal. So I'll put some videos of us harvesting a few just so you can kind of get an idea, and maybe we'll do a more in-depth video of that sometime. I end up leaving it around. I don't want her to think that she can just eat our chickens if they escape. So we just really wait.
So what you want to do, and you got all the fluffy pies.
Wait.
Ew, you don't want to do that. Maybe we could save the heart, Mom. I kind of want to eat the heart.
But we're going to move on to our next animal. So our next animal is livestock guardian dogs. Now, this might be like not something you would typically maybe think is on our list, but to us, they're a priority. You have to raise them for quite a few years to get them to be good livestock guardians. And raising them with the animals right from the start is important, because then they know the animals and they know their job and they know what's expected of them. So we have an Anatolian Shepherd.
Come here.
And a Great Pyrenees. Why we think this combination is so good is because Coda here, she tends to stay home and is a lot more of the bark and the oomph needed to protect our home base.
Yeah, she's here in 100 yards, and that's it.
And then over there, Nashek here, she is an Anatolian Shepherd, and she's our go-getter. So when there's something that's on the perimeter and is a threat to our livestock, she will be the alarm, and she will go after them.
Coda was first, and now she's the alpha, so that your home is the heart. And now Nashak knows to come home and listen to her. So when she sets the alarm off, Nashak literally looks at Coda for where are we going, what are we doing, what's the problem kind of thing.
Good girls. They are all fed raw. So they're fed 100% raw food. And that's going to bring us to our next animal. So we'll go do that and we can talk to you guys about their diets as well as the next animal on our list.
Yeah, because you got to feed these things, right?
You do, and they eat a lot.
Yeah. All right. All right, so where are we off to next?
So our next animal is rabbits.
Boom.
Now, rabbits are a super easy animal to raise. We've done it colony style, we've done hutches, and we've also had them in just like makeshift box crate things. And they've done well in every situation.
Yeah.
The only issue is when you get young rabbits and they're bred, they tend to eat their babies, which has been a struggle that we've struggled with throughout the process. So now we're down to only our good moms that we don't have to worry about. So
yeah, because we just did a little bit of a reset, right?
Yeah, we did do a reset. We were up to almost 50 rabbits at one point. They were taking over our entire greenhouse, and that was just a little bit overwhelming. So our dogs ate well. So that's what this all kind of boils down to, is this is our dogs' food. Dogs, especially livestock guardian dogs, they can't only eat rabbits. That's the thing. There's just not enough protein, not enough fat in them. Yeah. But it can be like a good supplement food because they also eat beef organs, lamb organs, and carcasses.
They get fresh meats and harvests all year round.
Whoop. So we raise these, I believe they're New Zealand's, but they're kind of just a mix breed. We kind of just got them from locals.
But they do fill out pretty good.
They fill out pretty good, at least enough for our dogs to be happy. The fur is really good because it helps deworm them. And then also all the organs and all the stomach.
And what the rabbit eats too, like all the vitamins that they eat just from the grass and all that whatnot. Now the animals, the dog's getting that too. Yeah,
that's right. But they've been really good, and we've been doing this for quite a few years. And it's been good to our dogs, and our daughter really loves raising the rabbits. And so it's kind of a really good starter animal for you as a homesteader, but also for your children. The rabbits, they breed every single month if you let them. And so there also has to be a bit of management because you can get overrun really quickly because they'll have about 8 kits each. So yeah, we only have 5 moms right now, but 5 times 8, you're getting a lot. And if you do that every month, you now have a bajillion rabbits and your dogs are sick of rabbit.
Yeah, you'll have to start sticking them in the freezer.
Yeah, which we have done before. We've had where we've realized we have way too many too fast and the dogs were getting sick of eating them. So they were just burying them everywhere. Yeah. And so I did end up just dispatching them, and we don't skin or anything. We just dispatch them and then we just threw them in the freezer, and then they were kind of a nice cold treat for the dogs in the summer. Yeah. And they'll eat them like that. So yeah, so these are a good one because if you, just like the chickens, if you're wanting to learn how to butcher, you could use them for that technique, but you don't have to. We throw them to our dogs whole, and so that's super easy for us and good for our animals. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one.
To the next.
So welcome to our greenhouse. We also have rabbits in here. This one down here, she was in with another one and she was getting bullied, and so she's actually in quarantine right now while she heals from a rabbit fight she got in. And then this is our buck. Oh, they are together. Yep. So our daughter did put them together. Okay, cool. So sometimes our daughter decides that she wants them to be bred right now, and so she'll sometimes do that. So there you go. I guess they're together right now. But she was actually in quarantine because she was, I don't know if you could see it, but she was getting attacked pretty badly. So her back was pretty beat up. So that is why I had her down there. Oh, she's up here now. Oh, there you go. Here, now we can see her. Hi, sweetheart. So she's a lop-eared. She's not like the other ones. She came to us as a pet. And
yeah,
so
you can see her back there.
Yeah, you can see her back. She's healing actually quite nicely now. I guess our daughter put the buck in with her though, so there we go.
There's that.
So they're in the greenhouse, and that's kind of just another hutch we have.
Perfect.
Okay, so our next animal is sheep. These ones are Clun forest sheep. Sorry, it is so stormy out here all of a sudden. These are Clun forest sheep. They are a wool breed. They come from Wales. So these sheep are a lot more wild than domesticated. Oh, look at them all coming. So they're there. So why we started out a number of years ago with hair sheep. Would I recommend them? In our opinion, no. For one, you don't get the fiber, and for two, we found that they just wanted to die. We had an awful experience with, we had like 20 bottle babies all in our house, them dropping left, right, center. It was just awful. So it took me a while to convince Mr. B that I wanted to get sheep again. And when we came across the Clun forest sheep, it was kind of sold for you because they're more wild, they're hardy as, they're easier to handle, and even though they're wild, they're easy to handle because they have such a good herd mentality that once you shake grain like we just did, once one comes, they all come.
Yeah, and also herding them, like, I don't know if you've guys seen with the drone.
Oh yeah,
video
you
of
can watch that drone video for sure.
So figuring out ways and adapting new ways of herding them, they picked up on it really, really well. They also picked up on our dog. And yeah, so they have been really nice to work with and a lot easier to understand what they're going to do.
They have been. And these ones are pretty fancy. They're full registered. We went through the first time we got sheep, we thought, oh, do you know what? Let's just get a bunch of sheep from random breeders, and we don't really know what they are, but at least they're cheap sheep, and start there.
I would suggest not doing that.
We'd suggest not doing that, but we learned a lot in the process, and that was what money could afford at that point.
Yeah.
So I have no regrets, but it was definitely not. If you're gonna get sheep, I would say get good quality sheep that don't want to die.
And I guess if you gotta get them, Lord be with you.
Because it was a challenge and we really struggled, and it took us a number of years to get back into sheep again just because that experience was so bad. With these ones, we actually used their fiber. I know that you could work it and you could do beautiful things with it, but for us, with where we're at in our life right now, we actually use it as insulation. So with all of our buildings, including their sheep pen and our pump house, we use their...
Any hut, any in-floor installation, anything you've been able to block away from, say, mice or something like that, we were able to insulate with, with their wool and whatnot. I'm not sure. I'd be curious if anybody else knows what their R rating is for their insulation. But it's great. Everything's working. Really well. Our pump house, their little barn, you know, things you can put it in the floor and whatnot. It works great. It works absolutely great.
And then when it comes to shearing, so we were really nervous to start shearing because, like I said, we had started with hair sheep. But we jumped right into it and just said, you know what, let's go for it. We did buy the cheaper shears, and it will kill your wrist, and it is, in our opinion, the hardest job on the farm. Yeah,
so with the shears is we had the hand-me-downs. Right, I think we got 1 or 2 sets. And obviously someone's used those for years and they got the job done. So we bought kind of the same thing, but newer, right? And you know, they're good, they cut, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of work, you guys. I mean, when you're doing like something like 30, 60 sheep and they're coming in and out and you're 30-degree weather.
It was hot that one year.
You're using these, you actually feel in your wrists and your arms really, really quick because you're actually manipulating the animal, holding them, and you're starting the whole process, right? So there's a lot going on. What I would suggest is you get one of those hanging ones. And
they're a pretty penny though. We don't even personally have one, but we've looked into it and it's definitely something we're setting money aside for. They can be upwards of $3,000.
It's the Cadillac though, right?
But it is, it's what you're gonna want if you're doing more than 5 sheep, I would say. Because we did 30 one year with the, or just under 30.
Just the hand shear.
With the hand shear.
So that's the motor and the shears all in one, and it's got some weight to it. At
one point, we were gonna quit. We were so exhausted. It was so hard and so hot that what we did is he held them while I sheared them. Because it was easier for us to do it that way. But we got it done, but now it gives us a humongous appreciation for people who do shearing as their job, because it is insanely hard.
Incredible, right?
Insanely
Until you
hard.
get really, really good, or unless you have like that hanging one. Because like, I can't emphasize how much easier it is. So like, yes, they're a pretty penny, like you said, but at the end of the day, you have the whole motor and everything hanging from whatever device, and you can get like 10 feet of line, or 5 to 10 feet of line. And then all you have is literally the shear head. And now you can manipulate the whole thing, and you're not feeling it. You're just not.
Yeah, so I would strongly suggest that. We got to feel one and experience one when we hired a shearer. We ended up hiring one this year, and he kind of gave us really good pointers for next time and showed us the shears he has, and it was a really good experience for us because we had gone into it completely blind in just YouTube videos, and we learned that way, which was great. But having actual contact with an actual shearer was really good this year, and so we're feeling much more confident for next year.
Yeah, and then too, talking with him, and he's like, yeah, been there, had those, and I had those, and this is where he's at now, and he can do thousands of sheep, you know?
For butchering, they're a great starter butcher, so they're a bit harder than doing, say, your chickens or smaller animals.
But yeah, sheep is a good starting place.
It's a great starting.
And maybe a handful of them, and go from there. When we did harvesting, I mean, some people might do it, but like right here where it was pinned to the fence, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'll put a picture or a video of it.
Feather them out, and then off you go.
So yeah, I would say that these are a good starting animal.
Yeah.
I would definitely say these ones are a better starting animal. So these ones can also be milked, the Clun Forest, so they're good milk sheep. Similar to what you'd say like a Suffolk. So yeah, I'd say that if you're wanting to get into milking and fibers and meat, these are a really good start. And let's get to our next animal. I actually want to mention something too before we go to our next animal.
Okay.
These are a really good hands-on animal. If you're wanting to learn banding, tagging, things like that, it's a really good animal to start with.
That's so true.
Because I was just thinking, our next animal, you need actual stuff to handle them, where this one, you can like wrangle these so fast. So I think that they're a great starting animal if you're wanting to get more hands-on and more like doing things with them. Really, really good. Also like 4-H or any programs you want your kids in, I think a sheep's a really good start.
Fantastic.
Our next animal is beef cows. So like I just said in the last one, where you don't need equipment and stuff, beef cows, you definitely do need some kind of handling systems and whatnot in place.
Just a little bit of a system, right? I mean, I think right here we got probably 60 feet by 60 feet. And then we have a water right there, which is heated in the winter. And then they get to come in here. That's where we get to control them and corral them. And then we'll show you here in a minute the whole head squeeze, chute, and organization pen.
So with beef, I think that they're a great animal for your homestead, but I will say I think that starting out, I would get like a yearling and then grow it up instead of doing cow-calf pairs. I think cow-calf pairs can be problematic in needing a bull first off, or AIing. And then of course it comes with the problems that birth can sometimes have.
Yeah, whether you have to pull a calf or whatnot.
So if you're brand new to animals, I would not suggest starting with cow-calf pairs, but I think starting with a steer and growing it up to butcher is a really great way to start that process in having your own meats.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Now we've been butchering our own beef for many years now, and so we do it. We don't have a facility. We don't do anything fancy about it. Maybe in a different video we'll do a more step-by-step on that. But today we're just gonna say that it is something you can do, and it's awesome, and we encourage everybody to learn how to raise and grow their own beef.
100%. Like I don't want anybody to ever be discouraged of being able to have your own beef in your backyard kind of thing.
Yeah, and going to auction or going to a local farmer that's raising cow-calf pairs, you can easily get yourself a steer or a bummer calf and raise it up to butcher it. And I think that that's a really good option.
That is,
especially to start. So you could get yourself an abattoir and a butcher and do it that way. That's going to cost you money, but again, it will be cheaper than buying meat at the store and obviously healthier and just better in general. Yeah. But if you're wanting to go full homestead and you're like gung-ho and no, I want to do this, doing it yourself is absolutely something you can do. And in our experience with friends and stuff, if they're not interested in the like actual dispatching part of it, that's something that we're pretty familiar with and comfortable with. And so we actually go to our friends and we do that part for them. So don't feel discouraged if that's something that you personally feel you couldn't do. Because I'm sure you could find a friend or another farmer that is comfortable doing that. And then you can learn the butchering and the processing part of that after the fact.
So basically what you're saying is like, you got your home, you got your steer, whatever animal you're harvesting. Yeah. And maybe having someone come there to do the actual dispatching part. Yeah. And then you still get to be hands-on on the whole harvesting. Yeah, and I think that's a really good option as well, because I think that a lot of people struggle with that part. Especially first coming into homesteading. If you're not raised in this environment, it might be a bit of a shell shock. So I think that it's a good option to just find someone to do that part. And there is actually local butchers around that typically will do that for you. So I think that that's something that you could consider as well. So a point I also want to make is all of our animals' manure we use for our garden and for the ground in general. Any bare patches in our grass that we notice have died or just are full of weeds and not looking good, we'll cover with this really beautiful manure. We use our rabbits, our sheep, and our cows, and this is what it looks like. The compost once it's been worked. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Garden's been loving it too. That's
what our garden ground is. So I just wanted to point out that every single part of our animals are being used. Even if it comes to pelts or skulls or literally everything, we use 100%.
Right, we don't want to waste anything.
Nothing.
And everything has a job. And that's how she goes.
That's how she goes. So let's move on to our next animal. We've got our milk cow here, Maple. So this one's a little bit controversial right now. Why it's controversial right now is because Maple has given us a run for our money. Okay, so this is Maple. Beef cows are coming in what, 4th?
Yeah.
Milk cows are coming in 5th. So we had a milk cow we love. Her name's Matilda, and she came from a dairy.
Actually, I think she's in the background.
She's way back there. And she, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cow. I honestly don't think you could find a more sturdy cow than her. We milked her downtown in a city once because we had a family emergency. We had to go down south and we were in milk, so we brought her with us, and she went on the side of highways, the side of roads. We could have children milk her. She is sturdy. So due to a series of unfortunate events, she is no longer a milk cow for us. She's still giving calves, but she can't be milked anymore. And so that was really sad for me, and me specifically because I really pride myself in being a milkmaid. And Mr. B fills in the gaps when needed, when I'm super pregnant or sick. He'll fill in the gaps for me, but it really is my pride and joy. And so I purchased Maple here, and she has been kind of rotten, honestly.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm not used to a cow that is so sassy. Like, beef cows are one thing, but a milk cow that's as sassy as her. Here's a picture of me getting kicked in the face. And then last night she tried to trample me to death. And we got a rodeo clown on our hands over here, and he fully rodeo clowned to keep me from being trampled, and I did the full scramble on the ground to get up, and it was a full rodeo show.
Yeah.
And so we have to fully pen her. She gets penned and tied and kick-barred and all the things. And we're on a road to a successful friendship and relationship, but it's taking time. And so that's why I think if I was doing a review on Matilda, our previous dairy cow, I would have put her in like a second place.
Should we punch home at pre-dairy cow?
Yes, that's Punch Home. That she was a dairy cow from a dairy. Maple came from a homesteader, and she was raised very well.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's a beautiful cow. She was loved and she was good, but
Well, just with that, right? You can expect different things, right?
Exactly. She was very good for her breeder, but she has been naughty for me, and that's just that. Cows, they do have personalities, and if she doesn't want me as her milkmaid, she's going to make that very clear. So we're just gaining a friendship now.
Yeah.
And we use both a milk machine and hand milking. With Mutilda, our previous cow, we had to milk machine her just because she came from a dairy. Her teats were literally this big, literally the size.
Do you have a picture of her?
I will try to put a picture up if I have one, but they were literally this big. And
like,
so you can't milk that. It's just, you can't. It's just
if
impossible.
we should ever show Mabel's here, is I can get my whole hand around it. And with Mutilda's, it was a finger, maybe 2 fingers to try to milk her. And it's just silly.
It was actually worse than a dairy sheep. They were so small and so, like, it was bad. She also gave us 15 gallons of milk. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah. She was insane. So we get 5 gallons from her, and that is plenty. We are happy with that.
Yeah, no, 15 gallons was kind of crazy. Milk just raining out of everywhere. It
was coming out our ears. Yeah. And so we're really happy with the production she's giving us and the cream line she's giving us. Working towards a good relationship with her, but that's why she's placed in 5th place, because it's a lot of work. We have a full situation, which I'll show you guys. We have a milking station. We have a full corral station for her now. And then she's also obviously in this pen here, so you can see back there, she's separated from the other cows. And in general, it's just a lot more work. I think it does take experience to have a milk cow, especially a second freshener like her. If you don't know what second freshening means, it means that this is her 2nd time in lactation, 2nd time in milk. And so she's still very new. When we had bought Mutilda, she was on her 5th lactation, I believe. 4th or 5th, I can't remember, but she was already in a routine, and so that was way easier. Where Maple here is just brand new to this, and she's not sure, and she got moved, and so she's just all out of sorts. So you have to really know your cows, and you have to also be willing to get knocked down and get up again.
100%.
You're never going to keep me down.
You're never going to keep me down. You're not.
Being ready for
patience,
all
endurance.
The things. Patience,
those are going to be key here.
And I'm actually really struggling with that right now. I've threatened to sell her a couple times now because she has really tested my endurance, really tested my patience.
Well, I mean, and with me, she jumped on me, right? She's tested all lengths of everything.
Yeah, she really has.
And yeah, I mean, even me being like, do we? Yeah, it's really the endurance part and having just the patience with her and seeing if we can make this work. Because it is a relationship, right?
It is. A milkmaid and a cow it's like how people feel with their horses. It's just a really special bond and relationship, but it does take that commitment to each other. And with milk cows too, I want to stress too that you have to be consistent. You literally can't be like, oh, I'm sick and tired, I can't milk today.
Yeah.
There's no vacations.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do without your milk cow unless she's on her 2 months of where she's not. So at in between her being bred and her calving again, you give them like a 2-month period of no milking just so that they can be strong and healthy for calving. Depends on what time you get them, but we milk her twice a day. So that's twice a day, every single day, except for 2 months of the entire year.
Yeah, and if
that
this was
is
your
what you're
first time,
committing to.
And if it was your first time?
And if it was your first time and she kicks you and knocks you down, you still have to milk her, because so when she kicked me in the face, what did I do? I grabbed my face, I walked home, I went inside, I said, Mr. B, she kicked me in the face, he bandaged me up, and we went back out. And I had to get back under her and start milking her, and with his help, obviously. But it's one of those things where you have to, can't, they'll get mastitis, they'll get sick, they'll die.
There's just so much. There's so much reality, right? Like, say you get her in the afternoon and everything's closed and you can't grab a kick bar, you can't go get a machine, you can't go get something that might help you. You are literally, you're going under that cow no matter what, and you're milking her.
Yeah, so whether you have to hobble her or tie her or pin her, it doesn't matter. You have to do it. And so I think that that's something that I really want to stress with the dairy cows is, yeah, it's a beautiful thought. And you watch your Instagram stories and you watch all these beautiful homesteaders in their linen dresses frolicking with their cows. And the reality is getting kicked in the face. And sometimes, not always.
Nope.
I never did with Matilda. She would never even
That's just something you got to go into it.
That's right. You have to go into it with that mindset. And obviously never trust a cow because you're literally under their leg.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if that cow were to show up and you're like, oh, la-di-da, this is going to be great. I've seen it done a million times. I just sit on here.
Oh, yeah. They can have you flat out pretty
It's just knowing that that's a possibility, I think, is the wisest thing to go forward.
And I mean, I had the nosebleed, and that was literally, I've worked with hundreds of cows, you guys. Like, we ran a full ranch before just focusing on homesteading. Yeah. We've chased some crazy cows.
The flying.
Yeah, we've done some crazy, like, we have memories that some of them are just ones that you have to have a drink and sit and laugh and talk about. Yeah. But we have crazy stories. And so that was not my first experience getting hurt by a cow. And so I just want to stress that I'm not noob at this. And so it can happen to anybody. And actually, I think it would have been a worse situation had I not been watching her, because I saw her kick a bucket once. And so I had it in my head that my head could be next.
There's just so many signs that, again, right? If you're watching the cow and you're reading it and you're getting to know it, you will see certain muscles, certain things moving, or agitations that cow is showing you, where you can pick up on that and continue your milking. That's right. And kind of be ahead of the game, right? And you saw all that. I did. And still came so close. Like, it was a right across the nose, and that it could have been much worse.
It could have been a lot worse. So that's why I say that is something you really need to consider if you're wanting to get into dairy cows on your homestead. I think that,
because it's great. The milk's great. The cream's great.
Making things is amazing. All the fresh, like, I would never discourage you from the freshness of raw milk, ever, ever, ever.
It's a beautiful thing.
But I do want to caution you in that it is work, and it is hard work, and it's a commitment, 100%.
Yeah.
So our last animal. Our last animal, we actually don't have one to show you. Last
but not least, I'm sure we have pictures somewhere.
I have lots of pictures.
So how you want?
It's bison, you guys. It's bison.
It's bison. All right. We had bison for some time.
2 months to be exact before we shipped them off.
And again, lots of memories there. There were things I had seen and dealt with. Anybody who's dealt with cows, bulls, steers, all that, is bison act completely the opposite. They act completely the opposite. And they have, well, if you have really good ones, you have ones that are closer to the wild side.
Yeah.
And so that's what we had. And I would say to have those is have a lot of experience, a lot of patience, and set up really, really good for it.
So I think what you mean by them being opposite is when you're trying to herd them, they'll run the opposite way.
Exactly.
When you want them in a pen, they will run the opposite way.
Yeah.
When you want them in a chute, they'll go the opposite way. And they will not stop until they are that way. And they are humongous animals, you guys. So we're talking their own young, their own little tiny calves in their way. We saw them get flattened.
Oh, so we can touch on this?
Well, no, I'm trying to be very cautious in what I say.
Okay.
And so it was a bad experience, you guys. Just bad.
We lost 4 calves, right?
4 calves in less than an hour.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it at that so we don't get in trouble from the algorithm. But basically, you have to be a cattleman through and through and be okay with rough and tough and herding these like, I can't even express, I'll put a picture in the video. You can't even understand by that how humongous these animals are.
Yeah, like, can we see this right here? Our little station?
Yeah, you can see the
station there. That bison, this is an easy, like, 10 feet or whatever. That bison, the bull at least, was just entirely this.
Yeah, basically this entire thing would be one bison.
His head would be something like that. Like, I'm 6'3", and, like, It was no joke.
They were
having them here.
Humongous. And it would be fine. We like big animals, like we have cows
yeah.
and stuff. The issue is they're humongous. I would call them like sheep because they're so scared.
Giant.
They're so timid.
Yeah.
Everything scares them and they just go and they go and they go and they go for miles and they don't care what's in their way.
No.
The issue is bison are not a home. I'm going to just say it right there. Bison are not a homestead animal. You have to have certification. You have to have your
so
land.
much because you can't have, the sheep. You can't have sheep and bison in the same
quarters. You can't have
quarters.
sheep within, I can't remember the exact numbers, but you can't have them within a certain radius of each other because sheep kill
the bacteria.
The bacteria in their feces kill bison. And so you have to have registered land. You have to go through, in Canada anyway, you have to go through a big thing, which our land was cleared for, but it wasn't worth it for us. And bison's my favorite meat, so that says something. It just was not worth how hard, and they eat a lot.
Yeah, and we just, you got to know when to fold them and be like, this is insane. They
are an insane animal. So we would say on the bison. The bison are not homestead friendly. No. Now, those are all the animals on our homestead, but we plan to get turkeys.
Yep. That's going to be good.
We would like to get ducks because their fertilizer is really, really good as well. Sorry to say, if you're watching this, we are not people that have animals for pets and fun. All of them have to have a purpose. We just don't see throwing money at something.
Well, I'm not running a zoo here, right?
Yeah, we're not running a zoo.
Everything's going to feed you or produce something, a manure or wool.
Or feeding our
dogs.
Help you.
It's going to help your homestead. It's actually neat at the end of the day, looking back, and every one of these animals are doing something to build this homestead.
Start small, you guys. Start with your chickens.
Yeah.
Preferably naked necks because they are awesome. I'm sure there's going to be people roasting us in the comments.
100%. I mean, they are ugly.
But I love them.
They're ugly. They have weird shape hairdos and whatnot. I get it. But at the end of the day, guys,
chicken's chicken.
Chicken's chicken, and it makes sense. And when you harvest a regular chicken and you harvest one of those naked necks, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, okay, why am I not
right? Because it's easy. Their neck situation is just
you'll know.
Easy. You'll get it. You'll get what we're saying.
Get one, and you'll be like, yep.
Yeah, you'll get it. So I guess that's it for today, you guys. We hope that you liked this video. This one was fun for us, and we'll just see you guys in the next one.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.